It is recording. Hello, Kentong.
Yo, Gan. Gan
Oh,
here is my fellow ex-colleague.
ex-colleague.
Yeah,
Ex-colleague. Don't talk about ex-colleague. It's like a long time ago.
yeah.
Probably 4 months. 4 months since we left. Maybe 3 or 2 for you, but it's definitely interesting, right? Because I think like the way I think about leaving the place is you basically have to just jump, right? You have to jump. It's similar to how those cruise ship or trains, if you don't jump, right, you just go and keep on going and going, then you never reach your destination. Or maybe if you're not happy with the destination, right? So
And you get stuck.
and you get stuck. Yeah. So it's a difficult choice because it is a good paying job. Practically we are doing nothing but still get paid.
Yeah, quite good, honestly, with the
Yeah.
pay for
Yeah.
whatever we do.
Hmm.
Right now, I want to talk about myself.
Hmm.
I'm Enough, or you can call me Wai Chun,
Hmm.
and I'm just have not medical checkup,
Hmm.
a checkup about my tooth,
Hmm.
having a wisdom teeth removal in this coming 23rd of July.
Oh.
Kind of nervous, not nervous, but
Hmm.
a minor surgery, the first time, and
First
quite
time minor surgery. So the doctors will give you something to make you sleep,
I
or is
don't
it?
think
Don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So you're gonna
Probably
be
just
looking at
awake.
the doctor, and
Yeah,
the doctor will pulling your teeth out.
智
Oh,
慧牙，
智
提提
慧啊
鼻甲。
wisdom tooth,
Yeah,
wisdom tooth.
and the
How?
thing about it
Hmm.
is a little bit panic, not panic, but
Hmm.
need to embrace it, be a man.
Why?
Okay,
Why is it panic? Is it? Do you fear the pain, or do you fear the injection, or do you fear like looking at the doctor pulling your teeth?
probably because I don't like the way they use the word
Hmm.
surgery. If they
Surgery.
say I'm just going to plug your wisdom teeth,
Hmm.
that should be fine for me. But
Hmm.
we're going to do a minor surgery. When you think about it,
Yeah. It's like surgery is definitely something that's not small because surgery is something really big. Got needles, got knife, got blood. Yeah. So do they say how they will perform the surgery, or they haven't told you anything?
they haven't told me anything.
They haven't told you anything. So
But
you
I don't want
just
to think about it. Just be
mm,
with it, deal
okay.
with it.
Like how do you find out that you need to remove the wisdom tooth?
Uh, I'm I have painful feeling since
Mm,
2 weeks ago.
okay.
It is not that severe at first
Mm,
until last week. It become really disturbing. Even though I'm sleeping, if I out of nowhere, I just
mm,
can wake up and oh, this is feeling not good. And
mm,
I just realized that yeah, this is something I need to be done.
mm. Is it expensive to remove the tooth?
Well, I just checked private
Mm,
clinics. They said this surgery is going to cost around 850, and I find this amount is quite big for me because I'm going UK and I
mm,
need to prepare a lot of money.
mm,
So saving money is one of the big thing for me right now.
mm,
So I decided to give government a try. But I find their service is actually quite good. So don't worry about Malaysia government medical service. It's good
mm.
for me at least. And I the feedback from those elder about the medical in Malaysia is actually quite good.
Mm,
Maybe it's a bit crowded,
mm,
but it's definitely worth the time if you don't have enough sufficient money financial support to
mm.
go private services.
This is good thing. Yeah, I didn't know about the Malaysia government hospital actually is that good. But tell me, is it like really cheaper than the private one, or is it totally free, or how does it work?
Um, I just had a checkup and
Mm,
they actually washed my teeth. I don't really know the exact word,
mm,
洗牙,
mm,
where it only cost me 3 ringgit.
mm,
The appointment and the checkup cost me 1 ringgit, while the 洗牙 wash teeth
wash
tooth,
the teeth. Mm.
yeah, uh, it's cost around 2 ringgit, which I find is quite cheap actually.
That is like, it's not even paying the cost of the nurse, The nurse probably makes around maybe 1,000, 2,000 ringgit per month. And 1 ringgit is definitely not going to cover the cost. So somebody is paying. Maybe it's the taxpayers. Maybe the government has funding from somewhere. Yeah. But do you have to wait long for the checkup?
Probably the whole session
Mm.
is probably took me for 1 hour 15 minutes,
Oh,
which I
okay.
find it still reasonable. But because the sector that I go is for pergigian, which is
Mm.
the teeth, that's why I find lesser people there. But when I go to
Mm.
another sector, I
Mm.
find more people over there.
Mm.
But it definitely worth the time if you're having, rather than you just hiding your sickness and not decide to not go private one, you
Yeah.
should just spend 1 day and go to the
Yeah.
government one.
Just suck it up. Okay. Go to the government. They are there to help you, right? So, like 1 hour waiting there is really fast. Okay, you just take your phone, take your power bank, and 1 hour will go by really fast. Yeah, people
Okay.
just take the phone everywhere.
Okay. We
It's,
should
hmm?
move on to the next topic. I have something to say suddenly out of nowhere.
What things there?
Um, I used to be a person that doesn't really speak a lot.
Hmm.
I find my I actually an introvert person,
Hmm.
but most of my friends doesn't realize it. They always
Hmm.
think that I'm actually extrovert, which
Hmm.
is a playful boy.
Hmm.
Um, I am lucky enough to have a mentor which I met during the first year of my degree.
Hmm.
There's a mentor, or more like a friend, a teacher, a mentor to me. Um, he taught me that something is really value important to my life. Where
Hmm.
last time I used to say never mind a lot.
Hmm.
Half, if the last time of me, I wouldn't even join this Skype call. It's something that I will be really, really shy
Hmm.
and reject this kind of conversation.
Hmm.
It will be similar to a friend of mine, Kenny.
Hmm.
Kenny, yeah, I think you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he should have opened up himself and embraced.
Like to actually talk about yourself and also go on like upload videos to online. Okay, I asked a lot of people, and sometimes they give the straight answer, sometimes they just beat around the bush. That's mean they like give you like very generic answers, very open ended. You also don't know what is their problem. So to summarize it up, right, I just discovered, and this is personal thoughts on why people don't upload or talk about it online, is because they are either afraid of people judging them, right? They're always afraid of, I sound really bad, or I'm not an expert yet, or like, you have this feeling that I should probably have 10 years experience or doing marketing work or doing movies to only talk about making movies, or I probably have to have like a PhD to talk about all this science stuff. But to be honest, like most of them don't really find PhD talking about science that much interesting. It's like how you say, yeah, you can have the credentials, but then storytelling itself, right? Putting everything in a compelling way for people to actually understand. It is a skill that you have to always train. So I think this is a good way to train yourself, right? Like if you tell me, maybe give me 6 months ago or that 1 year ago, I may not speak so fluently, but it's because like constantly speaking, talking in front of the camera, then it just gets really fluent, right? The ideas, okay, I always think of this as like articulation. Articulation is actually a muscle. Like you work on it, then you get stronger, right? But one thing is like, I understand you, right? The way that people think about you is like you look like an extrovert because maybe the face, like people always judge the book by its cover. Okay, people just have like a maybe playful face or adventurous face, right? Then to be honest, like I also get that a lot, but when I go to like a lot of people, right, maybe it's like groups, networking events, I just cannot go and talk so fluent, right? Maybe it's because like still not that comfortable, but just have to get over, work through it, or maybe just create a good space, create something like this, right? That is safe to just talk and talk shit, talk nonsense. Yeah.
We are giving opportunity to each others to learn, to talk, to improve our interpersonal skill.
Mm. Yeah, the opportunity right now, I'm just gonna put this out here, right? Right now we are living in the best time of human history. There is no other time in the world or in the history that is as good as now. Because when you think about it, right, this phone right here, like this smartphone, okay, the smartphone, it is powerful than what Mahathir, when he was the first prime minister, right, when he was doing his first time prime minister back 25 years ago, is most powerful than the computer that he had back then. So we are definitely living in a really crazy time. And I think most people are not taking advantage of it. They are not taking advantage. Like I imagine all these uploads, right? It's like a quota thing. Imagine all the companies like Microsoft, Skype, Twitter, okay, they give you a individual quota. Like let's say it is 1 terabyte for each person. You can upload 1 terabyte of photo, videos, whatever, okay, as long as you don't go over 1 terabyte. So a lot of people don't take this advantage. They just I'm shy, I don't have ideas, I have no time, I still have to work 9 to 5, then they just let it go, right? But if you actually like something, maybe Japanese potato, or maybe if you like Black Panther, you just go and upload yourself talking about it, upload photos, stories, write articles, okay? Then eventually you have a lot of exposure because you upload stuff into the internet and people can search your name, or maybe they search Black Panther, then they find one of your videos or one of your articles. So it is a really crazy time that we are living in. Yeah.
It's good that we can actually exploit this
Mm,
further.
mm,
Since not people realize it, this is a good opportunity.
mm.
So I hope that in future you can succeed in whatever you do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, talk about myself. I'm going to adventure myself into a
Mm,
UK, a
mm,
trip that I actually quite unknown to me.
mm,
I actually didn't prepare much when I talk about it. I'm not shy to talk about it.
mm,
Because recently I really busy, but I really want to learn. I mean, well, the introvert of me come back. I cannot
Okay.
express whatever I want to tell.
Why are you going to
Uh,
UK?
because I want to become a entrepreneur in
Mm,
UK.
mm,
When you what's my goal in UK? What's so special between UK and Malaysia?
mm,
Apart from the currency exchange rate, I
mm,
find that I can actually exploit myself because in here, labor service is definitely cheaper, where I can actually hire people cheaper. But in
mm,
UK, it's so expensive to hire one people.
mm,
So what I want to do is I become the labor itself,
mm,
not just entrepreneur but labor, and can save costs and try to earn more money. Maybe I can't succeed in UK, but it
mm,
definitely become an experience for me if I want to open come back Malaysia and open a new business. At least I learned something in UK. Why
Mm.
not I just give myself 2 years since I have the opportunities. I already got the endorsement letter to UK, and I'm wanted to open a food business starting from Ji Fen. It's my recent ideas. I find Ji Fen is doable in UK,
Mm.
and in UK so far, after 1 year study in UK, I haven't find any Ji Fen yet. This is
Mm.
something that I actually can exploit, just like you exploit the fact that you put fried rice video and people search fried rice, the
Yeah.
fried rice just come out.
I think you have to do a lot, right? If you are not famous, okay, or you don't have a big following, I think you have to just post 1,000,
Content.
2,000 Chi Chong Fan stuff in UK alone. So when people actually search like UK Chi Chong Fan, they find you, okay? Because the 1,000 videos, they will slowly make it way through the internet. Maybe somebody, okay, like a journalist, they tried your Chi Chong Fan, they really enjoy it, then they discovered you through the videos, okay? So it's definitely one thing that like a network, but with this network, it's much more wider, much broader. And also like a good time to remind you that probably you have to get like some water to drink, right? So feel free to drink water because whenever I talk, right, it's like a good time for you to drink water so you don't have a sore throat or dry throat later that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should drink more water.
Yeah. Like, okay, you mentioned a lot, but let's break it down into few different segments.
Okay.
uh, let's start with the entrepreneur thing, right? So right now, especially with social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everybody is hot on entrepreneur. They want to be one. They want to put themselves, okay? They want to pretend they are fucking one. But to be honest, not a lot of people are entrepreneurs, right? But so what entrepreneur means to you? What is the definition of your entrepreneur?
Definition of entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The one the person who manage the land, the labor, and
Mm,
the capital
mm,
efficiently and efficiency
mm,
into the business that create your ultimate objective. Maybe not profit, but for
mm,
my case, is profit.
mm.
Entrepreneur, you can become a social entrepreneur where profit is not your first priority. But
Yeah.
for me, I want to earn some money
Mm,
and retired probably by the age of 50, which
mm,
I still find it an objective that I can achieve.
mm. Like if you ask me, okay, what I think like an entrepreneur is, yes, they have to make money to have to keep the business going, right? But like one of the Gary V videos, okay, Gary Vaynerchuk, they talked about entrepreneur. It's basically doing stuff that makes you happy while still getting paid. That is like the basic definition. So you can do a lot of stuff. But with that said, one of the goals that I maybe hopefully to achieve, right? Maybe it's like a form of entrepreneur or maybe it's not, but right now I still consider myself as like a freelance, right? Freelance. Maybe it's like a little bit of entrepreneur, but yeah, there is a similarity between entrepreneur and freelance. Whereas in entrepreneur, you're much more towards the corporation operation side of things. But then in freelance, you're more like, yeah, you still have to do everything from marketing, doing the actual work, operating, as well as doing the financing stuff, but it's not as ambitious as the entrepreneur with the big business and stuff. But one thing that Gary Vee talks about is entrepreneur, most of them, the successful ones, are the ones that are focused on making a change to impact the world, right? So he his main priority is to make sure he leaves a legacy behind and to also maintain payroll which is making sure his employees are getting paid on time. So I think that is a really, really like I don't know whether about you, but for me, I feel that most of the millennials or the young people, especially 25 to 35, okay, right now on Instagram, social media, I feel that they are less ambitious. They don't have this big dream to change the world. Their own goal is to just make sure they have this car, go to this place, to France, sit in first class. That's it. They don't have this ambitious to change the world. Is it something that you feel, or maybe it's just like I'm bullshitting?
No, definitely. In a way, you are
Mm,
correct. In a way,
mm,
but ultimately, I would say the world is a fair place where how I going to express it. Let me think about myself.
mm,
Sorry for the pause.
mm,
Let me think about the way. It is good that not everyone is so ambitious. I would say it is a good thing for us because if everyone's so ambitious, there
mm,
will be no worker for you. Everyone want to become an entrepreneur, and your success, I mean your business, without a worker that
mm,
want to work but want to become a boss wanna be.
mm.
So how I want to express it. Sorry for the. This is
Okay,
I kind
so
of speaking
it's more
nonsense right
like,
now.
okay, you are imagining that it is a zero sum game, right? Where if one person win, then you lose. Some type of scenario like that. It's like if 100 people they want to suddenly become their own boss, then there is nobody to hire to
Yeah.
maintain the business, and everybody basically is just working like freelance.
Thank. Um. I would say.
Mm,
What a good way. Let me think a good way to express it. Sorry because I don't have a proper word and I don't
mm.
have the
It's okay because I
this kind of
mm,
opportunity to always express myself.
yeah,
Uh. Uh. I can't think of a proper sentences,
yeah,
but
it's okay.
I still feel like
Mm,
it's good that not everyone's so ambitious
mm,
because if everyone is ambitious, well, I can't find a person that work for me to
mm,
build up my business. I actually can exploit it. In a way, it's correct because
mm,
you feel that age of 25 between 25 and 35 is not so ambitious in
mm.
comparison, or maybe a statistic is correct.
Like we don't have statistic. I don't have statistic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
In a
just like
way,
it's just
you
like a intuition. It's
yeah
just like talking to people. Okay, like I just realized that most of the people around me, they just don't have that ambition to change the world, right? Like for me, I actually want to influence how human resources or how people are treated in the world. Okay, let's just start with Malaysia first, then we just see we can impact how human beings are being treated, especially in corporations, right? Especially in contract jobs. I'm telling you this because I experienced contract jobs before. It is like fucking bullshit, you know. Yeah, so definitely want to have a say in how people are basically compensated, as well as making sure the bosses of those corporations are accountable, right? Like, let's be honest, and I'm sure Ken Tong, right? If you are like a entrepreneur, a
Mhm.
boss, right? You're hiring people. If you hire a lazy employee, do you scold the lazy employee for being lazy, or do you scold yourself for hiring him in the first place? Right? Because you have the opportunity to not hire him, but then for whatever reason you hire him, then you are complaining that he is lazy. So it's just one of those really contradicting type of scenario. Like you're complaining your employees are talkative, are not 100% focused, but who is it that hired the first place, right? Yeah, but I think for corporations, right, the Fortune 500 companies, they basically just blame it to HR. The boss blame HR. Okay, the workers that got fired blame HR for firing them. So everybody just fuck HR. But with that said, I think HR is definitely something that is not disrupted yet. When we talk about internet and disrupting businesses, human resources department, they haven't got disrupted yet. So looking to make a change. Hopefully, Gary V, someone like myself, okay, if I have a structure in place, definitely looking to change up the whole thing. So yeah.
It's good that you have such ambitious dream. For me, I just
Mm.
want to make more money at my age.
I understand that
Change
because
the world. I can impact
mm,
the CSR, the social corporate responsibilities.
mm,
I haven't give much thought about it
mm,
because I used to volunteer,
mm,
but if I started up this business,
mm,
what I can do for the social, for the this is something I can think about it, give back to
mm.
society, to
Like
be more
mm.
impact to the environment.
Okay, here's the problem, right? I can foresee the problem is like most company, they are not genuine in their CSR, their corporate social responsibility. Okay, and let me tell you why they are not genuine, because they don't have this personal vendetta, they don't have this personal fight to want to do things. It's just like they do it for newspaper, they do it for their
Publicity.
annual report, they do it, yeah, for publicity, right? So like for me, because I experienced this, I experienced HR before, right? It's like is influenced in one way or the other by family members, by friends, that they are always complaining about how they are treated at work. So this is something that is personal, right? It's not for publicity. It's definitely something that I experienced or my friends, family experienced before. So you can say in a way it's like a chip on your shoulder, that type of thing, right? Like boxing. The people that gets angry, okay, they may get knocked out, but they are definitely swinging much more harder than usual, right? So there is a bit of personal thing inside. Like to actually do an impactful thing, I think it has to come from maybe an experience, like your life experience, or maybe you actually seen homeless people on the streets of London, right? Then you actually be motivated to make a change, right? Like there is this boss in Sunway, okay, Sunway Group, Jeffrey Chia, right? He's the boss of Sunway Group. He actually sweeps the floor around Sunway. Like if you go around Sunway, Lagoon, the area, Sunway Pyramid, the area, he actually sweeps the floor. Like he does it because he actually cares. Okay, so it's something that you have to do it within yourself. You don't have to care about cameras there, publicity, or to make sure every newspaper knows it. So it's just something that you either care or you don't. Because with social media, right, everybody can definitely smell a liar, can tell whether you are bullshit or genuine. So it exposes people in a way. More cameras to go around. Yeah.
Talk about social media. I encounter
Mm.
something
What
I
encounter?
find not good.
Mm.
Yeah, someone
Mm.
I saw a video about someone capturing uh, a guy
Mm.
who muscle kill, cut
Oh,
kill,
cut you. Okay.
cut kill. This guy, instead of telling the guy who cut the kill to
Mm.
not cut the kill, but
Mm.
instead he captured the whole thing
Mm.
and put it in social media.
Mm.
For me, I don't like this kind of act because what you should do is you go and ask the guy to not cut the queue. If
Mm.
only the guy say 关你咩事啊
Mm.
我插位关你咩事 yeah, which is like what's so big what's the first fuss of me cutting the queue, then
Mm.
you can capture the whole thing. Then
Mm.
I find it more, how do I express it, in a way, people relies on social media too much, which
Mm.
I don't find this is, I would say it's not healthy, but
Mm.
in a way they should have be more. I sorry for can't express it nicely
Mm.
because I
Yeah.
have the I have the thought, but I don't
Mm.
have the way to express it.
Okay.
That's
Let's
my
let's just
problem.
start with why do you feel that this thing is not good when you record people cutting a queue?
Because
Makes
maybe
you
the
feel
guy
angry, makes you feel no justice or what? What is the feeling?
Because maybe the guy doesn't even realize himself that he actually cutting a queue, but in by someone else just like for to get famous or what, just capture this whole thing and post it internet. I can actually see that some people which get really, I mean, support the way that the guy shouldn't cut the queue, but in a way I feel like the guy didn't even know about he cut the queue. Sorry, because I have a thing that stopped me from express myself. I
Okay,
kind
so
okay.
it's like a small matter, but then it just go viral because of the response. Maybe it's in the comments, like people getting angry, right? And they just want to share it, make famous. But like to be honest, okay, I think the problem of this social media thing is not the social media itself, right? It's like to put it this way, it's like the driving a car accident, right? Do you blame cars for killing people, or do you blame the driver for not driving safely, right? It's the same thing with social media. It's like the tool. Do you blame social media for making people go angry and making this video go viral, or do you blame the social media for making it viral? Okay, the funny thing with social media, right, is not as one-sided as the car. Okay, and here's why it's not one-sided. You have to think about the social media platforms. The social media platforms, their business model is to get you to use it longer so they can show you more advertisement, right? So it is in their interest to get you to keep on scrolling through, to give you more photos, more videos to look, right? So there would be a partial blame, not on the social media itself, but on the people who are actually creating the algorithm that feeds you this post that makes you angry, right? And I think this will just go on for an entire topic, right? Because I'm very interested in this culture of social justice warrior, right? SJWs, as the Western people call it, or keyboard warriors in Malaysia, like we call it, all right? And I think people just want to go angry. People just want to get angry. They see all these posts, they are actually not looking to be educated. They just want to type an angry comment and they just share it to other people. I just think that it's that way. There's no other reason, right? For me, I don't even watch all those like busybody videos. I just scroll it right through, no problem. Like if I'm not sharing, I'm not contributing to this entire mess. Like let's be honest, when somebody film the entire cutting lines or cutting the queue, right? You do not have the full context, as you also understand, because they could be unaware, they could be new to the place, so they don't know where to queue up. Then this fella that happens to have a camera just wants to make a video and make people angry. So I don't know, because you don't have the full context. It's like you are watching a minute of this conversation, right? That just says fuck, and you just put it and make it viral because this person says fuck. But you never watch the entire thing to understand why the person said fuck. Yeah, I think that's how it is. It's like the angry culture is real, and we can see there's a lot of things that especially in Malaysia, you cannot say because it's just makes people go angry, right?
Fuck can be a good word too. It can be exaggerating. It can be praising you.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah,
There's this Chinese curse word, so hai, right? So hai. Everybody knows this word, so hai.
in Malaysia.
So yes, so hai is a word that can be used as a noun, a verb, or it can be used as a, how you say, adjective,
Yeah.
right? So you can, this so high, very so high until so high, right? You can means a lot of different things, but then it's just a word. And also, like when you talk about language, I don't know, I can go on and on talking about language. Because, like, okay, I read this book, 1984, by George Orwell, 1984. In this book, it talks about Big Brother, and it talks about Big Brother as in another government organization that taken over the world, right? So they are some sort of, they call themselves social democracy, but basically it's an authoritarian regime, meaning that one party decides everything. There's no voting, there's no election, there's no democracy, anything, right? And in the book itself, they touch on their own language. They call it newspeak. Newspeak meaning that the entire language is simplified so that people can only think the correct way. Like if you realize and definitely understand the languages itself,
Mm.
some of the words they have a lot of meaning. And these meanings they have maybe good meaning or bad meaning. If, for example, like a country that wants to control their people, they always want the people to think of good words to say for their government. So they just changed the language of the country in the book 1984. So they removed a lot of those words like freedom, liberty, all those things. Then people cannot think of freedom, liberty because the words don't exist anymore, right? Like, okay, to put it this way, it's like right now in your situation, you think about a word in Mandarin, but you cannot say it in English. Maybe because you don't know the English word, or maybe it doesn't exist, right? So there is a limitation in the thinking. Like for me myself, sometimes I think in English, sometimes I think in Mandarin. So it is weird. It is weird. Yeah. Like what language do you think in?
I'm more profound in Chinese. Although I'm not a good speaker, that's why there's a lot of pauses because I'm actually converting translating myself in Chinese to English, and how should I say it?
And
But
English to Chinese.
end up I just fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the word fucked up. So hopefully people whoever's to see this video,
Mm.
don't blame me.
Ah, no, people have to start from somewhere. Like it is the right now it's like the number one rule for me to make all those videos. It's like you document, right? You document, don't create. Think of yourself as like a documentary team. So when you are better speaking in English, you can actually like let people know your background story. I used to cannot speak English. My English is bad. You can watch like a video 2 years ago. You can watch me stopping, pausing, all those things. Is there like
Kentong first video, first appearance in I mean in Cannes. Kentong,
yeah,
who can't even
funny,
speak proper English.
cannot speak properly. Then you can just throw back all the things out. Yeah, that's
We might
why
not know the
it like
future.
like right now you also see because you know Jack Ma. Jack Ma is the
Hmm?
Alibaba CEO, right? So everybody likes to throw out this video about Jack Ma in the 1990s, where he first talked about going to Harvard and being rejected from Harvard, all these things, right? It's like a good throwback video. To actually
True.
be so successful, then you have to start from somewhere. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people would pay a lot of money, all right? And if you talk about all these things being able to monetize, right? Imagine someone that took all of these old videos and actually create a VR version where somebody can actually sit next to us. Okay, imagine a future person sitting here and just listen to whatever we are doing or watching whatever we're doing. And the technology is there to map out everything. Okay, like if you think about it, recently I watched a video about technology,
Hmm?
AI technology, mapping out a painting. They have this 2D painting. okay, then the AI will track and then create a 3D moving version of the painting. It's crazy.
It's crazy because 2D and you convert it to 3D. How do
Mm.
you the length, the height, and the width? How do you see the dimensional thing?
I think it's like a projection, like you project and estimate.
Mm,
Like for
that,
me, I'm not an expert in all these things. I just guess. My best guess is like they estimate based on proportion, right? So with AI, they can take the average of human beings, like they can take the height or they can take the whatever numbers available. They use the average height and just measure the amount of pixels you have in the painting, and they just enlarge into the average height, so they can actually like move realistically or as human as possible. Because like if you watch the new movies like Toy Story,
mm,
they are not real people, they are just 3D animation. So if they can do that in animation form, they can definitely take a 2D painting and animate it, right? It's just based on amount of computer power as well as the time required to generate all this estimation. So that is where AI comes in. AI can help you generate all this estimation. They can help you track and calculate and keep track of all those movement, like the X, Y, Z dimensions,
oh,
all these things. Oh, it's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I hope it won't become so creepy. Like I'm actually
Mm.
standing beside like what you say just now, a VR.
Like okay, somebody
Oh my
they,
god.
they pay a premium or subscription like Netflix, okay, and they just sit beside you and watch you have a conversation. It's like maybe they'll pay for famous people, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Warren Buffett, for Steve Jobs, for Bill Gates.
VR.
You pay 9 ringgit 99 cents. You sit next to Bill Gates and Steve Jobs talking together. Yeah, something like that. But for us, like we are not famous yet, so maybe nobody will pay. You give it free, nobody will want also. Yeah.
Okay. Ah,
Hey, go talk until like off track, but back to the entrepreneur UK thing.
okay.
So okay, after you talked about your entrepreneur definition, you talked about your Chi Chong Fund,
Mm-hmm.
you talked about doing the manual labor to actually make and sell it yourself. What or who do you expect to buy your Chi Chong Fund in the UK? Like specifically, where in UK are you going? London, Manchester, where is that?
Birmingham. I'm
Birmingham.
actually wearing a jersey for my uni.
Okay, so
Yeah, Birmingham City University.
who in Birmingham would pay money to eat your Chi Chong Fund?
Depends on the location, but right now I focus in my focus group is student.
Student.
Student. I want to provide affordable, a cheap, affordable but tasty, and it's something new to them.
Hmm.
So I target student as my focus group.
Hmm. Okay. Then, like, because I also been through this type of scenario before, like making videos and actually trying to convince people to pay me to make videos, right? So, have you thought about pricing?
Pricing.
Yeah.
Mm, I haven't get into detail
Hmm.
of the pricing yet,
Okay.
but probably I'm going to earn in a margin of 50%
Hmm.
for wherever I do. This
Hmm.
margin include my labor fee.
Hmm.
I
Like I
don't
can.
give too much thought about it yet
Hmm.
because I need to do some experimental.
Hmm.
People wouldn't know what's 鸡肠粉 if I don't
Okay.
try.
So right now, what is your main focus?
Main
Getting the Chi Chong Fan
focus.
recipe or what?
I've seen some video and I have some sifu, some
Hmm.
teacher that will willing me to teach me how to make the
Hmm.
dark sauce.
Hmm.
For the food itself, it'll be entirely from not outsource from the supplier. But what the secret of this business? I need to perfect the dark sauce. This what 剧场粉 what's the localization of the business I can do where I actually not just providing chili sauce, sesame oil, sesame, the chili, the dark sauce, but I can actually add more sauce like mayonnaise, Southwest, like the one in the one in Subway. You think of it, yeah, the localizations that what make me unique. I need to stand up, but right now I don't have the opportunity. I have the opportunity to go UK, but I don't have the right target group in Malaysia to test in UK. But I want to do some special thing about my 剧场粉, which is like I provide mayonnaise. The mayonnaise and dark sauce, you might not know, it might taste really good. Yeah.
Have you tried before?
Oh, to be honest, I'm currently helping out my family business, and because maybe the selfish of me doesn't allow that I provide more time to sharpen the recipe. I have to be more
much more like helping up your family instead of doing things for your 剧场饭 startup, right? Because you still have to help out your family business, right? So yeah, I think it's a struggle because like when you talk about your family business, it's basically a retail store that operates from day to night. So definitely need some manpower over there. Yeah, so it's gonna be busy because most of them opens like 7 days a week, so there's no off day. Because if you're off, then you're not making money, right? Yeah, so it's hard. But I think like, have you thought about just focusing on the dark sauce itself first instead of doing like a Subway thing?
Of course, I need to like make this recipe better before I go UK. This is definitely one of the things I really need to like sharpen my skill on it.
So have you made the dark sauce before?
Currently, no, because I have readily made. I have tried a few dark sauce, but I need to like find the dark sauce that I really like. Then I need to learn how do they make it, because in dark sauce some people use 鹹魚, ikan masin, the I don't know what is it called in
salted
English.
fish.
Yeah, salted fish.
Salted fish, yeah.
Yeah, but if I think about it, how can I find this salted fish in UK? This is one of my concerns. But I didn't give too much thought about it. But yeah, I need to like do more thing, put more effort to it.
Like you can actually like Google search salted fish in Birmingham.
Yeah, I tried that. I used
Got any
to like
result?
I used to do it for pandan. Yeah, I find a result for pandan leaf in UK. If you want to do it, you actually can get it from Taobao, which quite
Expensive.
Yeah, expensive. I would say it's expensive. 100 gram for like £7.
Okay, expensive. That is expensive.
Right. Yeah, in Malaysia, 1 kilo of pandan is estimated at 4 to 5 ringgit, which is really, really ridiculously cheap.
Yeah. Have you thought of growing pandan yourself?
My father, which actually a farmer, who is a farmer, he have a pandan farm, not farm. It's beside pond. There's a bushes of pandan there. I actually have I can say quite a lot of amount of pandan that I can research on in Malaysia.
Like I can actually think of a few ways to make your 鸡手饭 interesting. And also a lot of ways to like make you stand out in Birmingham for the Chi Chong Fan thing, right? You can just start social media with Instagram location, take over every Birmingham hashtag, take over every Instagram location, get all those like local Birmingham influencers to try it out, take photos, and you just spread the message. Or you just take the dark sauce, okay, and just go to the street corner of Birmingham and make a video of the people trying your dark sauce. Like you just take a tripod, a camera on top of the tripod, you put it there, and people walk around, you ask them, hey, you're interested to try my dark sauce for my marketing research or video research, something like that. Yeah.
It's a good idea. Definitely worth a try if
It's like
yeah.
it's like how to say, guerrilla tactic. It's like all those heat, like I don't know how to put it in the English word. Okay, it's like something like hacking growth. Like you don't have the publicity, but you're trying to get people to know you, so you actually go to the street until the police ask you to go away or get a permission to do some recording there, right? It's like those growth hacking.
Definitely is a good way to when you think about it. Yeah. I can give a thought about it. Sorry, Gan. I really afraid that I'm making a boring conversation to you.
Oh, it's not boring. Like not boring. Like you. Okay, here is how you'll be boring, right? When the people are not actually interested in talking, and that will be boring. Like you can instantly tell, because if you look at the people, right, and you see that their eyes are maybe like looking away, looking at the phone, then you know instantly it is time to end it. But I think we can still keep on going because right now it's almost like 1 hour.
Yeah.
So I just can keep on going. I actually tried before, like the longest I talked for is probably 3 hours. 3 hours I talked solo. Oh, crazy. That day I was talking about sports. What it's about watching Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors game 7. Is it game 7? I think it's game 7 or game 6. I forgot what game, but they just won the finals and it's a good celebration. Yeah, I just talk over the entire match. Like I'm not showing it like a pirated version, but I'm just more like a compendium type of thing. It's like how you say? I also don't know what it's called, but I think this was gonna be a thing in the future, right? I can imagine right now, if you watch football or if you watch like Dota 2, TI, Tinta International, right? Big competition in Dota 2. You have the option to choose the original commentary, or you have the option to choose someone, maybe your influencers that are doing something similar that is live also. Like there is something going on. You watch the competitions of Dota, you can watch the original from maybe Perfect World, PGL Gaming, or whatever. There's Mosquito. No Mosquito. Okay, this is like PGL, Perfect World, okay? Or you can choose Sing Sing, or you can choose Bulldog to watch him watch the TI. So there is a market for these things, right?
That's the Twitch TV. What's Twitch TV for?
Twitch TV.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be just for Twitch TV. I think it's like if there's more people like influencers that are actually doing this, suddenly FIFA would don't have all this boring commentary already, right? So it's just gonna be two people talking bullshit and watch football together.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, and you know I got this idea from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is basically like one of the inspiration along with Gary Vee to actually do this type of conversation where you talk really long, 1 hour, 2 hours type of things. So that is the inspiration from. And I can imagine how difficult for him to actually talk so long, right? Like the longest he talked is probably for about 4.5 hours. It's really long.
Right now, I don't have the word to say. It's like, how I
Hmm.
supposed to like extend this whole conversation? What's the proper word I should say?
Inexperience.
Yeah.
Inexperience. Like I actually think a lot about all these things. So it's easy for me to just say because I do jogging sometimes, right? Like basically just this afternoon, this evening, just tell you a story. I went jogging. So every time I pass by the garden, okay, I have to pass by this guard house. And the guard house, there'll be two guards, right? So both of them always like harass people. Okay, not harass people, but like
Kacau.
playfully kacau you, right? Disturb you. So, hey, you lari apa? Dapat apa? Like he's basically saying, why are you running? What do you get out of running? Do you get paid to run? I said, no, but I get the ideas by running, right? And I also read this article the other day, right? Running helps a bit maybe with depression because it keeps you active, it keeps the brain active, so you don't always sit within a confined area. So it's like it's a way for me to get ideas, right? Like people run away from problems, I actually run to find solutions. So it's just one of the funny things. Yeah.
It's good. I like to jogging too. For me, when I'm jogging, right, I'm thinking absolutely nothing sometimes.
Mm.
I uh, I don't know. I don't know how to
I
say
I know that you're when you jog, okay, when you go running,
it.
it's not safe for you to run. Is that still happening? Is it still not safe for you to run?
There's a particular time that I find it safe to run, which is around 6 to 7:30,
Mm.
because there's actually people around the park.
Mm.
But after 7:30, the night is getting
Ah.
dark. Then everyone go back their home and lock their door.
Mm.
Then it wouldn't be safe to run around the park anymore.
Yeah, like after maybe 7:30 is not a good time
Mm-hmm.
to run because it's like if it's not
In
like
Malaysia, it's not.
Bukit Jalil or KLCC Park, is yeah, forget about it. Forget about running in 7:30 because there'll be motors around, there'll be cars around, so it's not safe to run. Yeah.
And recently, there's 7 robbery cases around my area, so we
Mm.
definitely need to like tighten up our securities. My father just installed a CCTV around my house for
Okay.
the security purposes.
So do you know anything about the CCTV? Like what brand is it?
It's
China brand, something
it's a
like that.
China brand, and
Mm.
surprisingly, the guy who installed our CCTV, the
Mm.
boss, the worker is all Bangla. The boss is Bangla. Bangla is actually taking the business in Malaysia, and they provide good. It is really cheap in a sense because my shop have another businesses provide the CCTV. It's expensive and the
Mm.
service is not good, and the CCTV camera you can see that it's actually blurry. It's not
Mm.
blurry, it's not as clear as this one in my house. So
Mm.
don't stereotype Bangla. They actually can provide better thing in a cheaper price.
Okay.
Sorry, out of
Like
nowhere, Bangla.
uh yeah, when you talk about Bangla, the first thing that comes into my mind is basically is it a political correct thing or is it a racist thing to call people Bangla? I don't know because like this word is kind of sensitive.
To you. Mm.
Not to me, but maybe it's like how you say, I don't know.
It's just like a
Like
slur,
it's like the
not offensive slur.
it's like a offensive slur word. I don't know because I'm not really familiar with this thing. Like the Bangladeshi workers, okay? Maybe I have to ask them personally, but do they get angry if people call them Bangla? I don't know.
Probably there will be some feeling, but I already it's common for me to see people call each other call those Bangladeshi
Mm.
Bangla, so I will be reacting the same by calling them Bangla as well. But I
Mm.
never in front of, hey, Bangla, come. No, I will
Okay.
say like Bang, just come, like not directly Bangla, but in a video I would name them Bangla. Maybe it's a offensive slur.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned something. I shouldn't call them Bangla. Maybe it's not a good thing to them. But
In mm.
but isn't it Bangla is their just like Malaysian my nationalities, isn't it? No, Bangladeshi.
I'm not sure. Maybe I have to Google search because for me, I have a feeling. It's a feeling that this word might be offensive.
Yeah, because we
Something
call
just feels wrong when they call
yeah
Bangla.
always call Bangla. I mean, the Bangla for us is a foreign worker from some country like
Mm.
Nepal,
Mm.
Bangla. Yeah.
Because like their country, the name is actually Bangladesh.
Mhm.
So you just shorten it by
But
half.
you don't call Nepali Bangla. We call everyone with sorry, but some skin color
Mm.
involved, then we call it Bangla. It's probably some stereotype words. When you think
Yeah.
about it, yeah, I shouldn't use the word Bangla.
It's like
I
it's
learned
like
something.
I don't know about this, but it's like the Indian word also. It's like the Cantonese. There's an Indian word, a word to call Indians Keling Lo.
Killing low.
Actually, the first two word Keling Lo, the
Killing.
Keling is actually a slur.
Mm.
It's actually a slur. So when you call people, like especially when you call Indians that
Oh,
word, they get really angry. They get really pissed
there's a
off.
new recently
Why?
about the politician called Killing.
Mm,
I think I seen it news recently, not recently, maybe months ago,
mm,
where they make a fuss of it because they call the Indian Killing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a slur word.
Blur, yeah.
The like if you actually go back into history and just learn about all these slur words, like the reason why most people just use that word is because like it's related to their cultural heritage. It's like because they dress up for their occasions, like maybe for Taipusam or Deepavali, they have a lot of these ornaments, and they have like if I went to Batu Caves before for their Taipusam, right? So they have a lot of the earrings and the chains, everything. So they make the noise, right? So
Killing.
they just call the noise their name. So one way or another, maybe it's used negatively, so it just becomes a slur word. It's like how the African Americans are called the N word, the nigger word, right? You cannot always say the E sound, but you can say the A sound. But then not a lot of people says it except if you are from the culture itself, right? So if you are African American or African, you can say it, but then other cultures they don't say it. So it's like instantly people will get angry if you say it, right? But then for us it's just like two-person who don't knows anything just trying to just be politically correct. Is this a problem? Is Malaysia trying to be politically correct? I know America is, and that's why people are actually interested in voting for Trump. So is Malaysia a politically correct place for you? Do you think that?
Mm, political.
Just
Used
you have
to
to say the
be.
correct words. You cannot offend people. And people, if you say that word, suddenly everybody will get angry and just make you go viral.
Somehow I would say it is Malaysia is a politically what's the word again?
Politically correct.
Correct.
Mm.
Yeah. Whereby we cannot judge probably no, I shouldn't say what we shouldn't judge. I don't know, maybe it's something sensitive. I don't want to say it out, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of sensitive thing that definitely there's a lot of sensitive thing to we should not mention in Malaysia.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Why do you think cannot mention it? Like even for educational purpose, so you still cannot mention it.
to to provide the not the status, the authorities, so you can actually feel it and not to overcome the authorities.
Mm. Like for me, it's actually if it's not used in an offensive way, right? So it's actually okay to say it because like some of those words that they have history behind. I am actually surprised that not a lot of people talked about all those history or historical things that are happening. So like people just have really bad memories on really negative things like Hitler and World War II Germany type of thing. Then they just avoid saying it because like it's just bad, right? People get angry because it's like a lot of people are killed back then in World War II. So with that said, Malaysia does, for me, I think has a politically correct culture going on,
Hmm?
right? So people just get angry, especially when you talk about the most famous topic or the most heated topic is like religion. So it instantly just brings up a lot of angry
Sorry.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, I think we have to cut it up, try to close it up, round it up. Okay, so but I said this is a really weird conversation, especially towards the end, because we didn't expect to go into all this racial and politically correct stuff, but
I,
it's really weird.
I wonder what you should put in the title of the video.
Like right,
Kentong.
like the way I do all these videos, right? I will just upload the full clip. Okay, so this 1 hour, 6 minutes, 7 minutes thing, I upload the full thing. Then I will just cut. I'll upload multiple times, as you see in the other previous versions or episodes, right? I'll just take small 2 minutes, 3 minutes section, cut it out, and just
Ah,
put like a search engine optimized type of title. Like, is Malaysia politically correct, or is it safe to say this B word, or is it safe to say what, like, is
keywords.
there Chi Chong Fan in Birmingham, something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
So it just depends. But with that said, what do you want people to actually learn from this conversation, or do you actually have any place for people to follow you to keep
Uh,
track of your business in
I
Birmingham?
I will let you guys know in
Mm,
coming videos if I still have opportunity to join this kind of conversation. I actually glad that I actually joined this conversation with you,
okay.
Gan, and I hope you don't mind that in further I might join this kind of conversation again. In during that time, I can actually provide myself with a proper social media platform names for you
Mm,
guys to like follow me.
okay. Can
Meanwhile, my private social media account is
you
really,
don't
really inactive. So
yeah,
I
you don't have to
wouldn't.
give it the private one, just like avoid it because there's gonna be a lot of fucking bullshit stuff going on if you give out your private or you give out the stuff that you don't want people to follow. So maybe if you are open, transparent, then I don't know, up to you. But then for me, you want to keep the fan page and the private stuff separated, right? So maybe for safety reasons, maybe for what, you know. So okay, final takeaway. So what do you want people to actually remember from you
From me, I'm actually
talking about this thing?
talking about this thing.
Yeah,
This is my
Birmingham.
first exposure in. I won't say this is something I would make it private. So it's like my first private, not private. I mean, first public exposure
Mm.
in YouTube. If you put it in YouTube,
This will be
I
YouTube, yeah.
yeah,
If you want it, because right now it's still recording, it's not live stream. So
I hope you guys remember me in a good way.
mm,
And if there's opportunity, I would like to join this kind of conversation again with you, Kan,
sure,
and hope
there'll be a lot.
that I improve myself better that's this next time.
Mm, it's okay. Yeah, everybody's still growing. Sometimes we don't know the right thing. Like for me, I also say a lot of stupid stuff back then. So if you go into Twitter and actually look for it, there might still be some stupid stuff that I say without the understanding, right? So I think it's like it's better to understand it now than to understand it but still repeat it again in the future when you know actually when you actually understand it, right? When you actually know the meaning. So yeah. Okay, thank you for having this conversation. It's definitely really interesting. I think this is the one Like right now, I just did 3. It's probably the one that I enjoyed the most because there is no structure to it. Right? There's
I
no structure. I like this type of thing. It's actually the reason that I want to do this type of long talking videos.
let's
No
do it.
structure and just talk bullshit stuff.
Let's do it again soon.
Mm.
Probably after my
Okay,
removal of my
can.
recent tea.
I'm
Thanks,
sure you
guys.
probably have a lot of time to think about stuff. So, yep, that's it. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Appreciate your time. Okay, stop recording.